I got caught in the middle of doing leaves. So look, since you lying, I ain't gonna tell everybody my business, but let's just say I'm looking good from the top up, from the middle, from the waist up.
All right.
But man, let's jump into it. The first thing I guess we need to get into is these injuries for the week, and in relation to actives and inactives. Let me see something real quick. Oh man, you got anything? What's your lineup looking like this week? Well, I put these inactives up. They should have been up already.
You mean my regular or the DFF?
Nah, regular games.
My lineup's looking good. Like they always, my lineups are amazing, man. I think I'm in second place in both of my leagues. So I think I got a full complement of players in my league, in the PGDC league. I think no one has a bye week, and everybody healthy. And
Man, I was feeling good about myself until Mark Andrews lunched down on me and decided he gonna take a break.
I saw that last night.
And then your boy Vermont trolling me, talking about I picked up the Secchi, and he was like, man, I like likely better. I was like, yeah, I bet you do, guess because you got him. But
Vermont always trying. He gonna always try to freak something, man. He'll mess around and sell water to a well, Joe.
Yeah, man, he always got a angle going. Yeah. Look, ruled out for the day. Man, we got some hitters not playing. Jonathan Taylor, Jamal Chase, Keenan Allen. Look, so with the Chargers though, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially when I get Herbert.
And so Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out. So you got the boy Palmer coming in. Everybody high on. But I picked up another cap. The second, I guess, who's gonna be number 2 today? It'd be interesting because Keenan Allen was outside to figure him out. They got Jackson, I believe. Chuba Hubbard is out for Carolina.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson is out for Washington, which for Terry McLaurin fans, they still, it bodes well for them. I mean, he ain't got to split the targets up to me 3 ways. Corey Davis is out for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
McKissick for Washington is out, which bodes well for Gibson owners, right? Because he ain't got to worry about him taking any of the passing receptions in the backfield. Devontae Parker.
Hold on. Back that out. You said who's out for Gibson?
J.D. McKissick.
Oh yeah. I think we'll probably get into that later, but Gibson about to start getting the full load again.
Man, I'm not sure why they was trying to rush that dude out of the backfield. But anyway, welcome.
Morning.
So we in the midst of going through the inactives.
Okay, we live. I like to walk in live. Let's go.
Devontae Parker is out for New England. Russell Gage is out for Tampa Bay. Cameron Brate once again is out for Tampa Bay. Not expected to play, doubtfuls. Mark Andrews, of course. Gus Edwards, both with Baltimore, not expected to play, unfortunately, for myself. Mark Ingram for New Orleans, not expected, is doubtful. Josh Reynolds, receiver for Detroit, is doubtful. Darren Waller, I'm not sure what his deal is, man. He can't get on the field this year. And so he says it was downgraded midweek and missing for Josh Reynolds was downgraded midweek and missed consecutive practice on Thursday and Friday, dealing with a back issue. Darren Waller's situation, man, is he's not expected to play, still dealing with hamstring issues. So
no, you would think since he's been struggling that people who like me with Devontae Adams would be coming up, but I don't know what's going on with that.
They made that East Coast trip last week and put up a donut basically.
Saints.
And then Damian Harris it says questionable. He was questionable with the illness, is unlikely to play. Now I wonder. So I guess are they still doing like COVID protocols? Like are they just doing illness now? Because I know Devontae Adams, he was sick last week, and then now they're saying he not going. He might not play because he was sick again. But I don't see him listed on here. But I know when I went to put him on fantasy, I went to put him on DFS lineups. It was like his condition was unknown. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean?
Yeah. Jose backstage.
And so game time decisions. You got Alan Lazard, Green Bay, right? So if he doesn't go, I guess that bodes well for Romeo Dobbs owners. James Robinson for the New York Jets is a game time decision, and it says he is dealing with a knee issue, but they're optimistic that he'll go. Alan Lazard's situation is that he's dealing with a shoulder.
Yeah, I can see him being out there, but just not really catching a lot of balls.
Right.
I think he's gonna be out there regardless. So he a risky play this week for me.
Christian Watson, which doesn't move the needle at all. Wide receiver for Green Bay. Brock Wright, tight end Detroit, game time decision. Ryan Tannehill is a game time decision. Which only reason that even means anything for me in particular is because I got the backup. And so I'm hoping Ryan Tannehill doesn't play, but it doesn't matter much anyway because neither one of them going to put up any points.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, why you got the backup?
Because Slim, that's how slim pickings it is
at quarterback.
At quarterback in this league. One, it's a salary cap league, and it's two quarterbacks. So basically, you can have three quarterbacks on your roster, one in the flex, and then one on the bench. And so, man, yeah, it's slim picking. So, mind you, I think I told you I started the season with Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz as my two quarterbacks. So, and you know how that's going.
Dang.
And so,
good morning, fellas. He might have to might have to pass this week because he's playing against Kansas City.
He's gonna have to do something. He's gonna have to run the hell out the rock or pass a lot. One or the other. Because they're gonna have to put some points up. So expected to play DeAndre Swift, running back for Detroit, DeAndre Carter. And James Conner, running back for Arizona.
Yeah, I do got a quick question, right? So I'm trying to play some players, right? But the thing is, I don't like playing players that's just coming off concussions. Like Amon St. Brown, he just came off concussion. You got Joshua Palmer coming from concussion. So Christian Watson coming from concussion. Like these players since the whole tour and Bridgewater, I just strayed away from players who've had concussion. So what do y'all think? Will y'all play players who just coming off concussion?
I would play St. Brown because he came off and then went back. So I think for him they would be extra careful with him. So yeah, I think he's a safe play. And with Reynolds out, Green Bay defense, they ain't the best. I would still play him.
Yeah, I would definitely go with St. Brown. Like it depends on the player. Like I would go with St. Brown. Somebody like Bridgewater who got a history. Like I don't know if I would touch somebody like Bridgewater. Like you got them Troy Aikman type concussions where you like every time you get touched, like you just out.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I had St. Brown like I think last week or the week before, and he got a concussion. He only played half the quarter. I was livid.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think they was extra careful with him because they brought him. They brought him back too early, so that put them under the microscope to me. So I don't think they're gonna rush him back again because that's just gonna be too egregious. You know what I mean? So they had him. He been out another 2 weeks since that time he came back.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and he was already out. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I would. Anything could happen in the league, you know. So my daughter's giving my vitamins for the day. Thank you.
That sounds like something Kendall would do. You take your vitamins yet? Oh man. Yeah, my bad, fellas. I've been outside with the leaves, man. My allergies kicking.
Man, I know you got 1,000 leaves out that jump.
I mean, basically, that's at this point in time. I'm at the time of year where basically I'm blowing leaves every weekend, and I could do it. I could do it every day and find some leaves to blow. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Let's get into it. I know Jose, you were saying you was had a question about Solana's, but so I kind of missed that. But let's go into the first game. We get into the Chargers. Well, Angeles Chargers, which is always still weird to say, versus the Atlanta Falcons. And the Chargers are given 3. The over-under is 49.5 points, though, so it's a nice little spread. It should be plenty of points scored. The question is, where's it going to come from? You know you're playing Justin Herbert, right? It says, well, Marcus Mariota says since week 5, he's been the QB5 in fantasy points, ranking 11th in PFF passing grade, 7th in yards per attempt, 19th in adjusted completion rate. Man, any of y'all got Marcus Mariota in y'all squad? Okay.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah. In our league.
Oh, okay. All right.
I heard Patterson's back too.
Yeah, I was just going to get into the running back side of things. You know, you got Eckler is basically he number 1 right now. I believe in points. He RB1 in fantasy. You got Cordell Patterson coming back, activated from IR. The question is, you know, you wonder how much he's going to play this week. He says he's 90%, so I'm not sure what 90% looks like. I guess that means he feeling good. He just don't feel like his optimal self. I don't know how you gauge 90%. Like when a guy be like, yeah, I'm about 80% right now. So, but yeah, it should be interesting. I got him on 1 league, and just based on bias, I'm gonna have to take that chance and play him. But the tricky thing is from a receiving standpoint this week. So you got the Atlanta backfield. You're not quite sure how that's going to shake out. Previous weeks 5 through 8, Algier was getting 42.5% of the rushing attempts, and Caleb Huntley was at about 33.8%. And so it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But from a receiving standpoint, both starting receivers for the Chargers out. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. So you got Josh Palmer stepping up, right? And it says he missed week 7 dealing with a concussion, but he's set to play this week, and he had a 16% target share and 50% of the air yards. And they've seen 8 or more targets and 50% of the games he's played this year. Let's see. So how confident y'all with Palmer?
You got Deion. I'm confident in him, but like I was telling everybody, he's coming off a concussion. I really don't like that. But you also got DeAndre Carter.
But he's not 100% either, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't like that offense this week. Even though they're going against Atlanta, I like you said, Palmer coming off concussion. I don't know how much he practiced this week. Carter not 100%. And I don't know if y'all been watching Herbert. Herbert ain't been lightening up like he was.
He I got him in the league, and so he definitely has not been playing up to where we draft. Where he'd been picked.
Yeah. So I mean, he got his top 2 targets out. I don't. I'm not thinking. I like Eckler, of course, but I don't like either one of the wide receivers from.
Interesting enough.
Everett.
I like Everett.
So when you look at the quarterback rankings, they have Herbert. The consistency ranking right now got Herbert at 6, But I chose not to play him in really none of my DFS lineups. I'm like, ain't no telling what's gonna happen with that situation. Let's see. Oh yeah, so from the Titan standpoint, look, so you got Gerald Everett and Kyle Pitts, right? And Pitts saw his high snap share since week 2, and a season high target. Had 9 targets last week, had 74, basically 75% of the snaps last week. And so, I mean, right now they got, I think, it says Pitts has 2 top 12 finishes, fantasy tight end finishes in the last 3 games. And so, and thinking about that, really, that's the only consistent piece to both teams is the tight ends coming in at the moment. Who would you rather have, Pitts or Everett? We'll start with you, Gene. Who would you rather have in that matchup?
Pitts or Everett? Man, look, I told you how I felt about tight ends last week, man. If you ain't got the first 2, you can just throw them all in the hat and just pull it out, man. But I go with Pitts just off of ceiling, off of his potential.
And right now they got the consensus rank Everett at 4, Pitts at 6.
Yeah. I'm rocking with Pitts. So wait, hold on. Who's Pitts matchup for the week?
They playing against each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he went. Yeah, I'm going with Pitts, yo. Like it's a toss up, yo. I'm so unenthused this year about tight ends, man. So on my list that I'm looking at, I got Pitts at 4 and Everett at 3. Yeah, toss up Pitts. I'm rocking with Pitts. Well, hold on. Let me take that back though. They don't have no weapons like we just talked about in Los Angeles, yo. So somebody got to get the targets, right? You know, I changed that to Everett, yo.
Eckler gonna get the targets.
Eckler get all the things out the backfield.
He can't get all the targets, right? Like I'm going with Everett, yo. Cause what's his face come back? Patterson comes back this week, right?
For Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, so Patterson comes back. He's gonna take some targets away. I'm rocking with Everett, yo. I'm gonna go with Everett.
All right. Next game up on the slate, we got the Chicago Bears versus the Miami Dolphins, right? And this is interesting. Miami is given 4 points, so they favored by 4 points on the road. And man, their passing attack is top flight at this point in time. Tua is QB7 and finishing inside the top 11. 60% of the 4 games that he's played. You got to make a note of that because he had a couple games where he didn't finish. However, since week 5, Justin Fields has been QB2 in fantasy. Right? It may not have shown on the field, but he's been the number 2 quarterback since week 5. So that's saying a lot. Even with the Bears not looking that great, he's been from a fantasy standpoint, his production has been the QB1. So this should be interesting, man. It says Fields is second in rushing yards and red zone carries per game, and in rushing touchdowns, and he's rushed for at least 60 yards in 3 of his last 4 games. And it says the Dolphins continue to fall on their face while attempting to defend the pass and make tackles. And they surrendered the 4th highest success rate per dropback while ranking 25th in passing yards and 30th in EPA per dropback. Man, I think I might just talk myself into some more Justin Fields in my DFL lineup.
I got him 90% of mine.
I got him in a lot too, but I got no wide receivers in there from Chicago. So normally I do a stack, but with
I stacked them with the Dolphins receivers.
Oh man, yeah, I mean it got some interesting some takes, right? So Miami, you got Mostyn and Wilson in the backfield, right? And then you got Montgomery and Herbert on the Chicago side. And basically since week 7 and 8, Montgomery and Herbert have been pretty much splitting all the rush attempts. Montgomery had 35% and Herbert had 32%.
And would you stack them? Would you stack Fields and the 2 running backs? I mean, not 2 running backs, and Herbert or Montgomery, one of them?
Oh yeah, that may be interesting stack.
They're gonna be it's either gonna be one of the. I wouldn't stack them in DFS because somebody gonna get those rushing touchdowns. They ain't
Right, the red zone opportunity.
No,
Because
the red zone
if
Hold on. You said would you stack Fields and what 2 running backs?
one of the 2 running backs with Chicago, Montgomery or Herbert.
Oh, I got Herbert. Herbert been killing, man. Like Herbert been a good play for me since week 2 or 3.
So when you think about it, right? So like Turner said, the red zone opportunities in the last 2 weeks, Montgomery has 8 red zone opportunities. Khalil Herbert had 3, but then you got the quarterback who is number 1 in red zone attempts.
Yeah. But I think, it depends on how your league is accounted for. But you're saying DF. I mean, they're getting so many rushing yards, that it doesn't even matter. Like what? Herbert, the third option, I think last week he got like 99 yards and a touch. Plus, a lot of his touches are coming from his TDs coming from 10 yards out or more because he's like breaking, like he's like their game breaker. So I mean, if you like, I'm not against it for real because, like I said, like they're getting like over they like 3 straight games over 200 or like over 250, right? So I mean, it could be a good play.
We definitely know they're gonna run the ball.
Yeah. The reason I asked because I had Justin Herbert and Eckler on one, and I was like, man, was that a good move or not?
But Herbert, he gonna complete passes to Eckler, right? So you're gonna get the passing yards, and Eckler may have 100 yards receiving,
right,
and may not have to score, or what I mean. So I think that's a little different.
So they complement each other,
right? Phil's not gonna be throwing the ball that much is obvious. Any interest in Chase Claypool? I doubt it. I'll take your silence as a no. But we know we playing Gesicki. He a tight end one. If you got him. The next game up, Carolina Panthers and Cincinnati Bengals. Now I'm not quite sure how to gauge this game right now. Cincinnati favored by 7. The over under is 42.5 points. And the reason why I say that is because Cincinnati and they looked bad last week, but I do understand that for some reason Cleveland seemed to have that number. And so, but I'm not really sure what to make of them this week. So we got PJ Walker versus Joe Burrow. Not sure if anybody is really playing PJ Walker at all. But from a running back situation, you said you played him?
Nah, I got I know my brother playing him, but 14-team league, so you got a couple of injuries. You gotta do what you gotta do. But last week I think he was good for about 16 points last week though.
Yeah, he it says over the last 2 games he's finished as QB 14 and then QB 16. So
yeah, so in a pinch,
from a running back standpoint, Chuba Hubbard is out for Carolina, so that means Deontay Foreman going to eat today. So I definitely like him because he was getting 73% of the rushing total with Hubbard out and getting all the red zone opportunities. So Joe Mixon, it says, he's 5th in opportunity share, 3rd in weighted opportunity, and he's RB 17 this year in fantasy, which is crazy. But remember, we put DJ Moore out. He was left for dead early in the year, and so he's gonna come back, right? He's finished since week 7. He's finished wide receiver 9 and wide receiver 5 in fantasy. So I'm just trying to figure out if there's any light for Joe Mixon to have a big game today. It says, Carolina's 23rd in rushing yards per game, 22nd in explosive run rate, and 8th in fantasy points per game allowed to running backs. So they were saying that his best opportunities is in the receiving role because they're 24th in DVOA, giving up the 6 highest yards per reception and 2nd most receiving touchdowns. Tied for 2nd most receiving touchdowns to running backs. But the question is, what's Cincinnati going to look like today? They're going to look like the Super Bowl caliber offense, with Chase out. What's going to be? What are they going to look like?
I like if I was betting man, I would bet on Carolina with that +7. I think Chase is just a big part of the offense. Of course, Mixon not really running that great. And Carolina is just hot right now. I think they just fired up right now for some reason. So I think it's going to be closer than 7.
That's how I feel. I definitely think that number is a pretty big number based on how both teams have been playing as of late.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to feed Foreman again. Foreman trying to get paid. They keep giving these opportunities. So I feel like they're going to feed him, and it's going to be a close game.
All right. Let's see.
Are you picking CJ Moore on this one?
DJ?
Yeah, DJ. Sorry.
I like him.
Yeah, I mean,
he the only thing I know in their passing offense. So
this is the thing. DJ Moore, if he didn't catch that 70-yard pass last week, he would have had like 13 points. So I mean, I play him. I mean, I would play him in my season long, not in my DFS.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Let me see. All right, next game up. Green Bay versus Detroit. This is the over under on this game is 49.5 points for Green Bay, giving 3.5 points, and it says the play volume is low in this game. It's interesting. So the over under is 49.5 points, but Green Bay is 27th in pace of play, and then Detroit is 22nd. And so this is interesting. I'm not sure.
That's a good stat right there. That shows. That's what I look at when I watch a Green Bay game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely playing their running backs.
Aggressiveness.
I'm definitely playing their running backs.
Playing both or just Jones?
I want to say, I've been doing a lot of Jones, and one of my DraftKings I have Dylan as a flex.
Dylan ain't been doing nothing.
I like that.
Yeah, but the Detroit defense, man, they suck against the run.
The only thing is just gonna go to Jones. I mean, that's
so
Dylan ain't been doing nothing.
I'm just thinking that I'm looking for he's low cost potential. I don't believe he's going to do anything, but I'm just hoping that one gets me over the edge. But I might change it.
Well, he definitely is be low owned, and they said,
that's for sure.
Was Swift supposed to be on a snap count? So
I like Jameson Williams.
Jamal Williams.
I like him more on this game. I like him and Dobbs.
I definitely with Lazard being with Lazard being being iffy, and like I said, even if he plays, he won't be 100%. I definitely like Dobbs. Jamal Williams he's getting 52.5% of his rushing attempts, and he's getting most of the red zone opportunities. Right now, he's averaging 16 touches, 75 yards, and he's an RB15. And it says his role hasn't changed much with Swift active or out of the lineup. So he's been consistent, whether Swift has played or not.
Rodney, where you find that pace of play stat at?
Man, it's on.
Share your sources for the people.
Yeah, right.
Not for me, for the people.
For the people.
No, for me.
I got this on. This is a stat that they're giving on Fantasy Pros.
Hey, who's the starting tight end for Detroit now? I've been trying to figure that out. I just can't find it.
Some dude you ain't never heard of who they just brought off the practice squad.
Yeah, but would you pick him up?
No.
I mean, he's been thrown to the tight end.
It said Brock Wright, and I don't know who starts. But right now I think Brock Wright starts. It says Detroit stayed the way they want to. They stated they want to get a good look at James Mitchell after T.J. Hawkinson trade, but the previous usage indicates Brock Wright could get the first crack at the job. So I don't think they necessarily named a starter per se, but up to this point in time, Brock Wright has 6 targets, 47 routes run, and James Mitchell has 1 target with 6 routes run. So that's kind of where you are. I think with Lazard being out, I think Robert Tonyan, if you're in a deep league, I think he's a tight end 2 this week. What do you guys think about Amon-Ra St. Brown coming back?
Yeah, I want to get him.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to get him, but I think I can get other receivers. That's just me, but I want to get one more week of him being, so his gameplay, because I'm really fearful that I got trauma off of people getting concussions and coming right back in and getting concussions right again. So I want to see it a little bit. So I'm holding off on him this week.
I like him this week.
What's your case for him?
Like I said, they already we talked about this earlier, but they already brought him back one time, so I think they're gonna be extra careful. They wouldn't bring him back unless he was ready. And I've been watching Green Bay defense. They just they've been letting people burn them. So and I don't know who else they're gonna throw it to. So
but
I
it
like
is in division though, right? I mean, hold up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right though. I mean, this is got the potential to be a low scoring game. I know everybody think it, but it could be like the Dallas game. Like it could be low scoring for sure. Because Aaron Rodgers has no sense of urgency right now.
None.
But yeah, it could be a low scoring game. So I'm with you on that. It's definitely a risk, but if it was 50-50, I'm taking them.
All right. So let's see. Next up, Colts versus the Patriots. This looks like to be a low scoring game. New England's favored by 5.5. Over under is 40.5 points. And it says with Edinger under center, the Colts crawled at 30 seconds per snap with a 53.7% neutral rushing rate mark. It says that will rank 29th in neutral pace of play with third highest neutral rushing rate mark for the season. Man, it says, and New England is 26 right now. So you're gonna get a lot of running. It's gonna be a slow playing game. I don't think you can start either one of them. Mac Jones has to look great. Sam Ellinger is. I don't know. It remains to be seen whether he's gonna put up any decent numbers this year. The big thing is Jonathan Taylor is out, right? So you got Deion Jackson stepping in, and so I got. I can see him. I can see him having a decent day. We know Ramondre Stevenson has been killing, and it says even with the Damian Harris, it says Stevenson played 63% of the snaps with 23 touches and 143 total yards. It ought to be 10. So definitely playing with Ramondre. I got Michael Pittman for Indianapolis. I'm not sure what to make of him at this point in time. Got high hopes, but with the boy Edinger back there, I'm not sure if I'm all that confident. On the other side of the ball, Jacoby Myers, he's actually number 11 in fantasy with 25% target share. He's 20th in target share, 22nd in air yards, and seen 8 deep targets and some red zone opportunities recently. So I definitely like Myers from a floor standpoint. He's not going to blow up, but he's definitely going to give you a good floor. From a tight end perspective, you got Kalen Granson, right? Which is a desperate play, but then you got Hunter Henry. for New England. I'm not sure if he's playing either one of them at the moment. Anything I know from this game at all, fella?
I picked up Deion Jackson.
Yeah, Deion Jackson.
Yeah, they said the last time he got to start, he got 70% of the rushes, 17.5% of the targets, and ran on 49% of the pass plays and had 4 red zone opportunities. So I definitely think he's in a good spot this week. And he's pretty cheap from a DFS standpoint. So then we got Buffalo, the 2 New York teams that don't get really associated with New York City. You got the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Buffalo is favored by 11. Over under 46 points. And let me see here. It says
I kind of like Jets in this game.
You like Jets to do what?
To do what?
Right. You mean a cover?
You know what? I like.
They got
Look, I would like them to cover. However, my thing is with Buffalo, even when they up, they don't take their foot off the gas. Like they're always trying to.
Hold on, no, we gotta let Jose finish. Like,
yeah, you can't just say that and
I like the Jets, and then he went on me.
So with the Jets, right? They're playing an in-division game, right, or in the conference game, whatever.
Right.
And when you look at the teams that Buffalo played, they played close on a couple teams. Like it's been like 2017, 20 to 23. Like the close teams they've been playing with, and especially with in division, I think they know each other. Plus now just got 2 new corners that's been locking down on receivers. And then there's and then their DNs has been getting after the quarterback. So I just see a lot of potential of an upset on this one. And especially if they're playing at Jets. So
you mean like win or like to
win? And I think Buffalo, everybody knows. I mean, in back of your mind, you're playing in that turf. That New York, not Buffalo. Yeah, that New York stadium, man, sucks. Everybody been getting hurt there, so I think they're gonna be playing with caution. So I think that's where Jets have a little bit of advantage. I'm just going off a lot of hope. It's Hope Sunday, so I'm hoping.
Who's gonna score the points for Jets?
For real.
I think it's gonna be receivers. I think it's gonna be Conklin.
Oh man, he said the receivers.
Yeah,
that's
Now why not? I don't sleep on
I think Garrett Wilson
because I know
gonna come out this
you
week.
say that I gotta get texts all day. Told y'all. So
Right.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
I know who you are. I ain't saying nothing.
I just got. It's just
matter of fact, I'm probably put Zach Wilson in the DFS lineup because I know nobody's starting him.
Well, I wouldn't say it's Zach Wilson. I'm only starting.
You just said the receivers,
right?
The receivers, yeah.
But like options, y'all. Like
I think it's gonna be like 17-20, win or like a 14-17 win.
So the defense, basically.
Yeah, it's gonna be a defensive game, I think.
Okay, not the receivers. Then that's.
Well, the receivers can score 1 touchdown.
I mean, right, but that's. I mean, somebody got to score. You know what I mean? Like that's.
Let me read this real quick. Hold on a second. It says even when they trail, the Jets don't trust Wilson to throw it. Since week 4, in negative game script, New York is 20th in passing rate. So basically they're the same as Atlanta. It don't matter how many points they down, they're not gonna get a ball. They're not gonna put the ball in their quarterback's hand to win the game. I think for this game, basically the question is, any thoughts on Devin Singletary, right? And Nyheim Hines, from Buffalo's standpoint. Then you got Michael Carter and James Robinson. Not enough for the Jets. And whether or not you can count on Gabe Davis if you're looking for him to have a blow up game this week. I will give Jose one. It says Wilson is 30. Garrett Wilson is 30. Wide receiver 37 in fantasy. It says last week, 6 grabs for 150 yards was ranked as wide receiver 15. Week 8 was the first time he had run more than 25 routes since week 4. And it says the Jets have shackled the passing attack as they attempted to cover up for Zach Wilson's shortcomings.
I feel like I'm selling y'all on Jets.
Oh, look! But check this out, Jose. It does say this. It says the game is another outing where the Jets likely don't have a choice, and they will have to throw the ball to catch up if the Bills are throttling them. So there you go. There's your hope right there. Corey Davis turns is out again. So
I promise I won't send any text out about it.
No, it's been noticed.
Yes, if the Jets win that game, you telling me you ain't gonna send us one text? I do not believe you.
No, they only have to win. If they decide to throw the ball to try to keep up, that's the win for Jose. Jose has spoken.
Y'all gonna see the score. Y'all gonna say something. I'm not gonna say nothing about it.
Oh look, so we got a question in the chat. It says, Ryan says I'm 6-2 on the season. He said, do I trade Stevenson and Pittman for Chubb and Keenan? Who want to take that first?
Keenan Allen?
I believe that's Keenan Allen.
No.
Because receiver running back, so I'm assuming it's Chubb.
Did he trade who for who?
I would not do it.
He's 6-2,
right?
So he in a good position to make the playoffs. He says, do you trade Ramondre Stevenson and Pittman for Chubb and Keenan? What do you think, Terrence?
Man, I mean, I see what you're saying because Keenan could possibly come back, but this could be a season-long thing for Keenan. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I can see where he going with it. You know what I mean? Because then you pick up Chubb. Stevenson and Chubb both are great, top 10 running backs at this point. But Keenan got the chance to be better than Pittman.
But do you trust Stevenson keeping up the pace? Where I do trust Chubb keeping up that pace for the rest of the season.
I mean, Harris, they say Harris was back on the injury report. I mean, I feel like Stevenson, he took the job. I mean, but you're right. It's a New England backfield. Right. So who knows? So you saying that it would be better to make the trade because you upgrading with Chubb.
Yeah,
what's the other receiver that's going with Stevenson?
Pittman is going with Stevenson.
Pittman, which is, I mean, you can get rid of him now.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah, I make that
more
trade.
Potential. I see more potential with the trade. Yeah, I will go with the trade.
With Chubb and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I see. Right, I like that.
Other receivers that can hold you down a little bit.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, you're right. I do think that's a good trade.
Yeah, I like what you said
because you upgrading with Chubb anyway.
Yeah, you consistently will have him. You don't have to have that question. Oh, is Harris going to come and take over? Or I like what Gene was saying. Yeah, I agree. Make the trade.
All right, look like we got a consensus to make the trade. All right, cool. You heard it here first, Ryan. Go ahead and pull the trigger on that one.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, 6-2.
Yeah, look, really. I got one team on the opposite end of that equation. All right, man. So look, we got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Washington Commanders. Vikings favored by 3. The over-under is 43.5. And interesting thing, since we've been talking about this pace of play, right? The Vikings are 6th in neutral pace, and they throw a ton. They have the seven most passing. They're 7th in neutral passing rate, right? So basically, whether they're up or down, the game is pretty even. They got the 7th highest rate of passing. In the league. On the Washington side, since Taylor Heineke has been a starter, Washington is 19th in neutral pace with the 7th highest neutral rushing rate. So they have a pretty decent pace of play, and they maintain a good rush rate. So that bodes well for Gibson in terms of them being active. Let's see, Kirk Cousins versus Tyler Heineke. You're playing Dalvin Cook, of course. Kirk Cousins has been. He's been basically where he'd always been. He says right now he is. Well, let's look at the Commanders. Since week 5, the Commanders are 10th in passing yards per game and 8th in EPA per drop back. While they're playing better, they still have some more like the 19th in explosive pass rates over that stretch. And he's ranking 12th right now in PFF grade and 8th in adjusted completion rate in his QB9 in fantasy this year. So what y'all think about Kirk Cousins this game? Y'all starting him?
Yeah, man, I think talking about. As soon as he get in the stadium, we tackling that behind, boy. Ain't about to come in here and do
I wish it was a primetime game. That's what I was. That's what we need. Put that man on Monday night or Sunday night or something.
Oh, I still think I said Commanders. I still think they're gonna win.
You think the Commanders gonna win?
Yeah, I think they're gonna win.
Actually, I think they can probably win too.
Because they got.
I'm not scared of Minnesota at all.
And Kirk Cousins can't really take quarterbacks hits, so you go after him.
Hold on, guys.
Oh, here we go, Cowboy fan.
Nah.
Let's go, Cowboy fan.
Yo, has Kirk Cousins ever been injured, yo?
No, but he rattles. He's just like Sean.
He rattled. Mentally, he injured. He injured. Let's go. As soon as he get in that stadium, he gonna have flashbacks.
The thing is, you ain't scared of Jefferson.
I'm just trying to dissect the game, but y'all clearly talking about it from a fan point of view. So let me.
It's all scientific here.
Look at stats. The Washington has had 21 sacks so far. They're like top 4 in sacks. He can't take too many hits, so you start giving him pressure. He's not going to throw it right.
I don't got Jefferson in no lineups.
Yeah, we know him personally.
No lineup.
We know he can battle.
Okay.
And then Justin Jefferson really hasn't. He started out good, but he hasn't been really. Their chemistry hasn't been like explosive like it's supposed to be. Not only that, they just traded for Hawkinson. They're gonna try to feed Hawkinson, and then boom. Holcomb's gonna knock him out.
Yeah, and we hype because we about to sell the team.
Yep.
Get it, you know what I mean? Jeff Bezos will come in.
And Jizza.
And Jay-Z. We hype. It's a new NFC East coming. Yeah, everything is changing.
Hilarious, yo. All right.
Everything is changing.
My man said he ain't got Jefferson none of his DF lineups. My man Jose talking about he can't take pressure. Okay, yeah. All right.
You should know, man. You played them. You played them a couple years. You should know. We don't have to defend them. You know too for first hand.
I don't think. Look, we're not gonna get into this because like y'all got to be up by 10 o'clock. So I'm not even going. I can go. Yeah. I mean, he's not that bad.
Hey, Jay, you got to show the same restraint you showed my man at the paintball joint yesterday.
Yo, he's only terrible to Washington fans. But all right, we can move on. That's it. That's all I got to say. Well, Flurry Washington fans hate him. Washington fans act like he Schuler, yo. But all right, we good.
All right. Look, man. So we know we're playing McLaurin. We're playing Justin Jefferson.
Gibson.
You're playing Gibson, right? All right, look, here's a question. Who would you rather have, Curtis Samuel or Adam Thielen?
Curtis Samuel.
I have Curtis Samuel. I'm gonna rock with Curtis Samuel. Because them rushing joints be like, you might see 4 catches for 50 yards. You're like, oh, I got 13 points, but then he had like 3 rushes for 28 yards, and you'd be like, oh. So he'd be quietly, sneakily giving me good flex numbers.
Let me put McLaurin in the lineup right now.
No, that's not gonna touch.
So let's see what's the next game. We can try to get to some of these so we can get out of here. All right, man. Look, I don't know what to make of this game. We saw what the Raiders did last week. The over-under for the Raiders in Jacksonville is 48 points, though. Vegas is favored by 2.5. I'm not sure how that happens, considering that stinker they put up last week. It says Jacksonville is third in pace of plus 17. We see a lot of plays around. But I'm the only person that I have faith in with the Raiders is Josh Jacobs. He's RB5, right? And he don't seem, other than last week, and when they had to throw the ball a time because they were terrible. So I like Jacobs. I like the Jacobs ETN matchup. Right. I figure both of them should go off. I don't. I still don't know what to make where I keep saying this thing of unknown status for Devontae Adams. It says he was upgraded to full practice on Thursday and Friday, and let's see, yeah, but I don't see much else. If last week was an anomaly, I definitely think he's still rolling them out.
Well, he's good. He's good on Yahoo.
Okay, it says Adams is 7th in target share, 9th in targets, 14th in air yard. Right, so he definitely running them out there. Renfro has been a disappointment this season. He's wide receiver 43 on the year. I need Christian Kirk to rebound from a slump with this week because he's been like top 6 and 2. Darren Waller, he's not playing. Evan Ingram should have a decent game. He should be in position to have a decent game. He says he's averaging 4.8 since week 5, averaging basically 5 receptions, 58 yards a game, and he's 10th in yards per route run and 6th in yak yardage. So, anything to note in this game? Like anything that's that we missed? I don't trust Derek Carr, and I have Trevor Lawrence, and he has not been playing that well.
So the last week, Devontae Adams got to get like 15 targets, right? Like it just has to be right. It got to be a constant effort to get on the ball this week.
That's what I would imagine.
One catch,
but so that game, I mean, points got to come from somewhere, and I got a feeling it's gonna be mostly from the running backs. And I'm hoping that Trevor Lawrence has a good game because basically, so this is why I'm high on Trevor Lawrence this week is even though he hasn't he's only finished inside the top 12 twice in 6 games. The Raiders have given up the highest passing touchdown rate in the NFL, right? And so that's kind of what I'm reading. It says, and then since week 5, the Raiders are 27th in passing yards per game and 30th in EPA per drop back, but they've held passing attacks to the 12th lowest explosive pass rate. So they give up a lot of completions, but not a lot of big yardage. So I figure if he can dink and dunk his way down to the goal line, where they fall off at, he should be all right. But we'll see. Seattle versus Arizona. Over under 49, and Arizona is given 2 points to Seattle. And it says this game has the best play volume of week 9. Arizona is 1st, and Seattle is 11th. Right? So think about that for your DFS lineups. Geno Smith is QB8 in fantasy. So, you're rolling them out there. And we saw what Kyler Murray looked like when they brought back Hopkins. And so I think really the only question is we got Lockett and Metcalf. The only question is really from and you're playing Walker for Seattle. What does Arizona's backfield look like this week? Benjamin. Did I say Connor was out? I can't remember. Or was he questionable?
Nah, I think he was expected to play. I think that's what you said. What would you say about Arizona 1st and 7th?
Oh yeah, Jane Connor was expected to play. Oh, so in terms of pace of play, neutral pace of play, right? Basically, where they're not trying to come back or they're not ahead by a lot. They Arizona is 1st in pace of play, and Seattle is 11th.
So they go quick.
Expecting this to be the highest play volume of the week. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that stat. Let me adjust some things here.
Let's see. Yeah, so is expected to play. DeAndre Hopkins, man, he went off last week. He's been wide receiver 1 in fantasy points per game, and he's averaging 2.3 points more than Stephon Diggs since his return in PPR leagues. He's first in target share, target rate per route run, air yards. Basically, you got him. You roll him out there. From a tight end standpoint, Zach Ertz has been hurt because of Hopkins and Moore's return over the last 2 games. He's averaged 5 targets, 3 receptions, and 27.5 receiving yards. But the matchup is kind of juicy because Seattle ranks number 28 against all tight ends, allowing the most receiving yards and fantasy points per game to that position. I gotta rethink my Ertz. Like reading that thing, I gotta rethink my Ertz DFS lineups because I didn't like him because he was because of the return of Moore and Hopkins. However, I got to wait and see what his salary look like for the week.
Yeah, he the highest tight end in FanDuel.
Yeah, right. That's what I think. I think he the highest. Yep, I think he the highest in Yahoo as well. So that's why I didn't like him. I was like, he losing target share and he expensive. But if they're gonna run a lot of plays, it might not make a difference. All right, man. Tampa Bay favored by 3 with an over under 42.5 points between the Rams and Tampa. And we know you can't play Stafford. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, I want to say almost like the same player for the most part.
You were so right about that, yo.
Do y'all like anybody from the Chargers except for except for Cup and Higbee? Like, is there anybody else to talk about?
Oh, you mean the Rams? I got confused. You confused the Rams and the Chargers. You said, do y'all like anybody from the Chargers except Cup? And then
I'm sorry. Yeah, the Rams. I'm Los Angeles. This Los Angeles thing killing me. Los Angeles Rams. Other than Cup and Higbee, anybody else worth even talking about?
Nah, not really. Like I had a running back. I traded a running back. What's my man's name? Just drew a blank. Yeah, but yeah,
Henderson or Cam Akers or
Henderson. You don't get all the touches, but they don't even run the ball no more. They don't even want to run the ball.
Right. And then they got Ronnie Rivers getting both of the attempts. So I don't think he's touching the 10-fold. Fournette, he's still an RB1 at this point of the game from a points per game standpoint. So you definitely rolling him out here. Even though it says since week 5, the Rams' run defense has softened to a middling matchup, ranking 14th in rushing yards per game, 17th in EPA per rush, and 17th in explosive run rate allowed. So let's see.
Well, they've been backstage for
we playing Evans and Godwin. Say again. Oh, what happened? Look, I saw him on there, but
yeah, it was like 5 minutes.
I didn't realize he fell off.
One interruption.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you, man.
I didn't realize he was on.
Talking.
Like, because I could see him on the list of participants, but I didn't realize he wasn't in the feed no more. You cat G. He's been back there 2 minutes. He's like, he's back there 5 minutes.
That's a long time, man.
Nah, he was. It was 01. That's fine. Yeah. That's a long time to be sitting somewhere.
Y'all should hit me. Y'all know I can't quarterback this thing. Ain't produce.
Man, tell RJ or Kendall that you'll be back and you'll take them in 5 minutes and see how see how they be tapping with that 5 minutes.
Kendall ain't buying none of that. 5 minutes. I tell Kendall, give me a couple seconds. She be back this joint. 1, 2, 3. That's been a couple seconds. All right, man. Let's see. Oh, so the last thing, Kate Otten. It says, "Will Jordan start again after Cam Brady's been ruled out?" In his 3 starts, Otten has 12% of the target share, 77. He's run on 77% of the routes run rate, and 5 red zone targets. The Rams are 20th in DVOA, allowing 6 highest yards per reception to tight ends. and Los Angeles has also faced the fewest tight end targets in the NFL and held the position to the fourth lowest catch rate. So actually, if K Dot, because Tampa Bay throws the ball a lot, if he gets some targets, he can potentially produce.
You said the tight end honest?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my picks, right?
That's one of your sleepers for the week.
Yeah, that's one of my sleepers for the week. I got a couple, but yeah, I really think he's gonna go off in this game. I think Tom Brady's gonna be the old Tom Brady. He sealed the divorce. I think he's gonna really get at it.
If he does come back, man, that's gonna further cement, because like everybody like, look, at least we give him a pass, saying he got some personal issues going on, and so that might, that's the reason why he not been playing well. But if he can compartmentalize like that, and then basically once he gets this out of the way and he come back and he start killing, then he definitely is on another level.
I mean, because
next, go ahead.
Yeah, because I was saying that he knows that how to playoffs. He's been doing this for years. Like, he knows that the NFC has an opportunity to get to anybody can get to the playoffs. So
Pretty much.
Still positioned to get up there. So like, I just know he's probably gonna turn it up either this game or next game.
All right. So look, man. Next game up, Kansas City. This is a Sunday night joint. Kansas City versus Tennessee. I think we already know that basically Tennessee's entire offense is based around Derrick Henry, right? The question is, from a Kansas City standpoint, are you touching anybody in the backfield? And we'll start with you, Terrence. Are you touching anybody in the backfield, and who are you going with from a receiver standpoint?
In DFS, nah. I'm not touching anybody in the backfield. And actually, that's the Monday night game, right? Monday or Sunday?
Is it Monday? I think it's Sunday night.
Sunday night. Okay, so you ain't got to worry about for DFS. But yeah, it's where I think Kadarius Toney, they're supposed to work him in, so that might take a little bit away from Hartman. I like Schuster. I like Schuster in this game for sure, and I mean, of course, Kelsey. Yeah, I might not do Hartman this year just because Tony might get a couple of those targets. So I mean, this week, nobody in the backfield.
Yeah, they say Smith Schuster. Over the last 2 games, he has more than 113 receiving yards and finished wide receiver 7 and 4 in fantasy. And so that's moved him up to wide receiver 25 in points per game. So he's definitely on the come up. So and been putting up great numbers. We already know Kelsey be playing him as well. I think that's pretty much it, man. Henry, Kelsey, Juju. I think that's the only folks you can really trust in this game. All right, man. Let me see. Is there anybody else? Any other games we missed? We got Baltimore and the Saints.
Lamar.
I'll let you. Jose fell off again. No,
I'm here.
Turns
I'm here.
fell off.
Lamar.
Turn.
Out.
Oh yeah, Turns gone. Okay. He said he had to go. Okay. Cool. He did. So I was aware of that.
I like
Jose.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you mentioned Likely last week.
Who's the
as a potential waiver target. Likely is because
Andrew's backup.
Andrews is doubtful. So from a backfield standpoint, Gus Edwards, Kenyon Drake, this is Hill, the 3-headed monster, right? Gus Edwards is dealing with a hamstring, and so he's doubtful. But Kenyon Drake has, since week 6, has averaged 11 touches. Look, I feel a certain way about Gus Edwards, right? Like I remember right before he came back and got all them touches that one game, I was high on Kenyon Drake, and then Gus Edwards came out of nowhere, and now this man was hurt. He ain't doing nothing but just muddy up the waters for their backfield at this point in time. Yeah. Because it says since week 6, Drake has averaged 11 touches, 66 total yards, and he's finished RB7, RB62, which is when that game with Gus Edwards came back, and RB14 fantasy finishes. But look, On the other side of the ball, Alvin Kamara, man, he since week 5, he has averaged 24, basically 25 touches, 145 total yards. He's been an RB 8, 10, 13, and 1 in fantasy over those weeks. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to say about that. Devin Duvernay right now is Rashad Bateman. We know he's out for the rest of the season. So Devin Duvernay basically eats up a lot of those targets for Baltimore. And I'm saying, I don't know if you guys heard, I'm saying they saying Michael Thomas' season is basically likely over after surgery.
After what, 3 straight years now?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
He's out.
Yeah, they're basically saying he's done for the year. So I like Olave for New Orleans, and I need him to do some things on one of my teams.
Yeah,
But
I got Olave.
I think,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just talking about likely being a good sleeper pick. All right, man. So look, so to wrap up, Gene, you got any sleepers? You got 2 or 3 sleepers that you're looking at this week?
No, not really, man. I passed. I was late. I was late on the homework. Zoned out listening to what you were saying and forgot that I'm just be transparent, yo. I forgot to locate all my sleepers. But I know Jose gonna give us 12, so he gonna
Hey, you got 2 or 3. You mentioned likely already, and you mentioned Otten.
Yeah, let me stop on this one. Let me stop on this one so I can get focused. All right. So what I got for sleepers, I got likely, of course, you know, I had picked them up. I think I did a kind of like a dirty move. Somebody had Andrews that I'm playing against, right? And I picked up likely. And now he's might be doubtful. So I know I don't have to compete against this tight end, but I know, hey, that's part of the game, though. I got him. I got Damian Byrd from Atlanta. He's a sleeper that I feel like he's gonna at least gonna have 2 deep balls. 2 deep balls, 1 touchdown. Who's that? Oh, Raymond. From Detroit, Dobbs, and Gibson, because a lot of people I don't think is playing Gibson a lot. Heineke is another sleeper. I think he's going to go off on Minnesota. And Logan Thomas, he's been quiet. He's coming back finally. He played a little bit last week.
Oh man, I think you're Bama for that whole. That was gonna be my one. That was gonna be one of mine, Logan Thomas. I was holding him in the pocket.
My bad. My bad. My bad.
But
okay.
I feel
you got something. You should have went first, and then let me go after.
Look, knowing how many you got, you always have in the chain. But I should have went first. But now I was just looking at Logan Thomas. That was gonna be the first one I ran off, and it said just kind of piggyback on what you just said. You know, he came back last week after missing 3 games with a calf injury. It says he played 68% of the snaps, right? And so it says the Vikings have struggled to slow down tight ends this year. They've surrendered 12 and a half point PPR fantasy points to the position, the seventh most in the NFL. So they said they had no answers for tight end over the last 4 games, where they've given up 14.5 points per game to the position during that span as well. So yeah, I like Logan Thomas. So I definitely feel you on that. I like the I think you might have mentioned DeAndre Carter, Chargers receiver. You mentioned that one also early. And a streamer, if you need one. I like Dontrell Hilliard for Tennessee, right? I like Dontrell Hilliard for Tennessee. Potentially getting receiving opportunities, and then a potential streamer would be Andy Dalton for New Orleans, and also like Kenya Drake for Baltimore. Andy Dalton and Kenya Drake would be my other 2.
So real quick, I would add, like, if you need a quick pickup, sort of sleeper. I don't know how great he'll be, but he'll definitely get all the touches. It's Deion Jackson from the Colts with Jonathan Taylor being out.
Right.
You know, if you need somebody in the pinch, get you through the week, I think that's a good one. And we gotta remember too, like every year, with a running back, they get their opportunity and they become a star. So I'm still trying to figure out who that's gonna be this year, if it's gonna happen this year, man. Like somebody usually get hurt, running back come in, go for $150 and never looks back. But yeah, if you need a running back in a pinch, if he's available, Deion Jackson is a good one. I
All right,
know
fellas.
Josh Palmer earlier, but Herbert Target's got to go somewhere, man. So I would put Josh Palmer as a sleeper as well. Somebody got to catch a pass, man.
Yeah, look, actual receiver other than Eckler, right?
Right.
I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go to 2 tight ends, receivers. I mean, 2 tight ends.
Running
Carter.
back.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna go to receiver. I think majority is gonna go to tight
Josh
ends.
Herbert got a gun and he like to throw the ball downfield. So I think somewhere like one of these receivers are gonna go off. I'm going with Palmer.
Hey, so if Guyton's playing, Guyton's that tight end receiver. He used to be receiver turned tight end. So maybe he might get them a lot more opportunities if Carter's out.
Who's that? Who's that?
Guyton. His name is Guyton. I can't remember his first name, but he's a tight end for Chargers. He used to play receiver, but they switched him over to tight end.
Oh, okay.
But he has deep rep potential.
Well, all right, fellas, man. Another one in the books. It's been a fun one. A good one-hitter quitter. And so, man, best of luck in your fantasy leagues, except for anyone that I'm competing against. Gene, I mean you. If you sit in number 2 in the Goodfellas joint, I need you to fall back a little bit.
I'm coming for that number 1 spot, yo. I'm trying to win both. I'm trying to win 2 leagues, man. 2 leagues. Add a little something into my retirement, man. You know.
Right. All right, fellas, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe all day.
All right, be safe.
Have a good one, fellas.
Later.